Imagine walking toward a fire where every face is unfamiliar. You are hungry. Your feet are bleeding. Behind you, your old group expelled you, died, or vanished. Ahead is warmth, food, children, weapons, and people strong enough to kill you before you finish raising your hands. You need them. They have no reason to trust you. Today, a stranger can prove identity with a name, address, phone, job, and profile. Early humans had none of that. No documents. No background check. No way to ask a neighboring band whether the nervous man wearing rabbit fur had recently stolen anyone's dinner. Yet strangers did join groups. They had to. Small populations needed new mates, skills, and information. But admitting the wrong person could bring theft, violence, disease, betrayal, or enemies. So how did early humans decide who came near the fire? The obvious answer is instinct. They looked at a stranger and sensed whether something felt wrong. That sounds primitive. It is also disturbingly close to what still happens now. But instinct was only the first gate. A face, voice, posture, smell, accent, injury, toolkit, and reaction to pressure could become evidence. Not proof. Evidence. In a world without paperwork, people may have built sophisticated trust tests from tiny details. One hard anchor comes from Sungur, in Russia. In 2018, researchers led by Martin Sikora analyzed ancient DNA from individuals buried there roughly 34,000 years ago. Those buried together were not all close biological relatives. That matters because the simplest image of an early human group is a large family wandering together. Parents, children, siblings, cousins, everyone related, everyone loyal. Except that model creates a genetic problem. If small groups stayed closed generation after generation, inbreeding became dangerous. The Sungur evidence suggests those people belonged to wider networks where individuals moved between groups and relationships reached beyond immediate kin. In other words, strangers were not rare accidents. They were part of the system. But that does not mean a traveler could stroll into camp and announce a new living arrangement. Movement between bands was probably often managed through known connections, marriage partners, trade relationships, seasonal gatherings, rituals, or someone who could say, "This person belongs to people we recognize." The strongest passport may have been another human being. A stranger arriving alone was harder. First came appearance. Not beauty. Information. Was the person starving but carrying a well-made blade? Injured but not infected? Did their ornaments resemble a neighboring group's? Did their clothing fit the climate? Were their tools maintained carefully or stolen in a hurry? Did they approach openly, or linger near food and sleeping children? Every object carried a biography. A stone point revealed its material's origin. A necklace might signal distant allies. Scars could mean hunting experience, old violence, or both. Someone too healthy while claiming their group had starved might create questions. Then came behavior. A person asking to join was dangerous because they had motivation to perform. Smiling meant little. Promises meant less. What mattered was how they behaved when tired, embarrassed, hungry, contradicted, or denied immediate access. Early humans did not need an interrogation room. Camp life was the interrogation. Give the stranger food, but not the best portion. See whether they complain. Place them near the edge of camp, not beside the children. See whether they accept the boundary. Ask them to process an animal, gather fuel, repair shelter, or carry water. Watch whether they cooperate or hoard. Trust could be built through ordinary labor. That sounds practical. Maybe the answer is simple reciprocity. Useful people stayed. Useless people left. But that explanation has a problem. A highly skilled stranger could also be dangerous. A strong hunter might feed the group, then challenge its leaders, assault its members, or disappear with valuable tools. A weak, injured person might contribute little immediately, yet carry knowledge of water, medicine, routes, or approaching threats. Humans were not selecting employees. They were deciding who might become family. This is where reputation becomes crucial. In 2006, anthropologist Polly Wiesner published research on Hexero exchange among the Jews/Hoansi of southern Africa. Hexero involved long-term gift exchange across social networks, maintaining bonds beyond the immediate camp. The gift was not merely a trade. It was a relationship stretched across distance. Such networks could provide refuge during drought, connect marriage partners, spread information, and reduce uncertainty. Someone arriving with a trusted name, recognizable gift, or knowledge only connected groups shared had social collateral. Think about that. A bead, a story, or the correct name could function like a password. But passwords can be stolen. So recognition probably involved bundles of signals. Accent, gesture, kin names, songs, tool styles, food preparation, ritual sequences. Tiny habits outsiders could imitate badly because they did not know which details mattered. Modern people still do this. You can sense when someone claims membership in a community but misses its invisible rules. They use the correct words in the wrong rhythm. They know the public version, not the lived version. Your brain is still scanning for that mismatch. And then there was generosity. Food sharing was not simply kindness. It tested future behavior. A stranger who shared food, surrendered part of a hunt, helped an injured person, or gave without demanding instant repayment showed the ability to participate in delayed reciprocity. That mattered because hunter-gatherer survival is uneven. One person succeeds today and fails tomorrow. The group works only when food moves across those fluctuations. But generosity could be strategic theater. A manipulator can share once. The harder test is consistency. Did the stranger behave well after several days? After jealousy? After romantic rejection? After correction by an elder? After learning the best hunter was unimpressed? This is why acceptance may have happened in stages. Near the group before inside it. Fed before trusted. Trusted with work before weapons. Allowed among adults before vulnerable children. Included in daily routines before secrets, rituals, or marriage negotiations. Belonging was probably not a door. It was a narrowing series of circles. The third clue comes from anthropologist Kim Hill and colleagues, who in 2011 compared social organization across 32 hunter-gatherer societies. They found residential groups often included unrelated people, and flexible movement between groups was common. This does not tell us exactly how Paleolithic humans screen newcomers. Modern hunter-gatherers are not living fossils, and no society offers a direct window into 30,000 years ago. That skeptical warning matters. Archaeology preserves bones, tools, hearths, and sometimes DNA. It rarely preserves a suspicious glance, probation, whispered argument, or the moment someone received permission to sleep closer to the fire. Maybe many admissions were informal. Some strangers were accepted because a marriage was needed. Others may have been tolerated only during seasonal abundance. Desperate groups may have taken risks stable groups refused. Some decisions were shaped by fear, charisma, prejudice, or influence. There was no universal prehistoric immigration policy. Still, the pattern is difficult to ignore. Early human groups were neither sealed families nor open communes. They survived through a tension that never disappeared. Outsiders were both threat and opportunity. A stranger might carry disease. They might also carry immunity, knowledge, tools, alliances, stories, genes, and news of a river that had not dried. Reject everyone, and the group became isolated. Accept everyone, and the group became vulnerable. So selection favored something more complicated than friendliness. It favored social intelligence, observing, delaying judgment, comparing signals, remembering reputations, detecting inconsistency, and letting trust grow in measured steps. The unsettling part is that this system was probably unfair. A nervous person could look deceptive. A traumatized survivor could avoid eye contact. An unfamiliar accent could trigger fear. Someone innocent but culturally different might violate rules they did not know existed. The same machinery that protected the group could exclude the person who needed help most. Bring that back to you. When someone new enters your workplace, neighborhood, family, or social circle, your mind begins its old work before you consciously decide anything. Voice, posture, timing, generosity. Who introduced them? Whether their story fits. Whether they respect boundaries. Whether they behave the same when no reward is available. You call it a first impression. Your ancestors may have called it survival. So how did early humans decide which stranger could join? Probably not through one test, leader, or dramatic vote. They watched. They asked who knew the person. They examined what the stranger carried, how they worked, what they shared, how they handled limits, and whether their behavior remained stable over time. Then, slowly, the stranger stopped being a stranger. Or did not. Return to that fire. You are still standing outside its light, holding everything you own, while unfamiliar eyes measure details you did not know you were revealing. The first human border was other people.